What you're seeing now is what was here 1,000 years before white man came to this continent, unchanged and unspoilt. An opportunity to fish in a time zone lost to most of the world 300 years ago.
Beautiful. In fact, just about perfect. This is one fishing trip I've been looking forward to for a long time. It's that kind of exploratory adventure where almost anything could happen. These warm, tropical reef waters have a great variety of tough, fast, what we call sport fish. And to cater for fishing like that in terms of tackle has meant that we've had to bring just about everything. We did manage to confine ourselves to one rather hefty trolling outfit each, but because most of the rest of the fishing we'll be casting lures or bait fishing, we brought a number of casting outfits. Some of them are like this, fairly standard, practical, overhead multiplier type casting outfits. And the others are this kind, the old familiar thread line or egg beater spinning outfit. And while this tackle is light, it's not too light. It remains practical tackle with which to do battle with these tropical reef fish. At the same time, that kind of fishing still remains fun, which is what our sort of fishing is mostly all about. The other thing all this tackle has in common is its high quality. The kind of barrier reef fishing we're likely to run into deserves and in fact demands the best quality tackle we could find. So that's what we've brought. And we've also taken the trouble to put new line on and to thoroughly service and tune the reels. And that's not a bad tack for you to take with your own tackle. Be more successful that way. Actually, in trying to anticipate every likely situation, I brought along a selection of trolling lures that'll handle all speeds and most depths, including some rather battle-scarred old warriors of mine that have managed to survive my tropical sport fishing so far. Then a group of lures which I can both cast and troll, like these weighted squids here. And the rest of the lure complement is made up purely of casting lures of one kind or another. Actually, the fish up here will eat just about anything you present to them, but the different lures are for handling different local geography. These metal spoons, for instance, are ideal for working those shallow sand flats on the sand cays. These eel-tail squid jigs make an ideal tool to drop down the face of a coral cleft or a coral reef where the big cod and coral trout live. Apart from the metal spoons and the jigs and the trolling lures, the only other lure I bought are my old favourites, the poppers, because I don't know a fish that won't eat one of those. Feels like we must surely have brought the kitchen sink as well, but the only other equipment that I just wouldn't go fishing without is some sort of a dental tool like this for taking hooks out of fish before we release them, a pair of parallel jawed pliers with side cutters for all our wire work, and of course a good sharp knife, very handy on any sort of a fishing trip. Other essentials, polarizing sunglasses, we can see the reef and the bommies with those. Of course, a good hat, and don't forget your sunburn cream.
Do you want any revs? Give us a yell if you do.
Yeah. I think I can handle him on this tackle. He's just down there.
Just remember about that keel.
Yep. He's still swimming fairly powerfully, though. See him down there now, about 100 feet. Looks like a trevally. Yeah, trevally or a turrum.
I call them all trevally. That way you're safe.
Yeah. They can all pull. Yeah, looks like a great trevally, and
golden.
Mouth hooked. Just give me the gaff and I'll place it just in his mouth there. Right. Yeah, looks like a great trevally, Vic. Although there'll be people who'd argue with you.
I'm happy to settle for trevally.
Yeah, trevally will do.
Just hang on, I'll get your lawyer out of the way, okay.
Okay, let him go. Okay. Among the most fascinating aspects of this northern reef country are its variety and its contrasts. At this point, we're not more than 7 miles away from a vast area of shallow, flat sandcay country. And yet here we have a steep continental granite island. They call it North Direction. The most interesting thing from our point of view as sport fishermen is that it is completely surrounded by a beautiful platform of living coral. And all we have to do to catch fish here is drift quietly along in our little dory, casting poppers.
Even here in the north, there are people who still believe that fish like coral trout can only be caught on bait. That just isn't so. Trout and other reef dwellers like cod, sweetlip and wrasse will readily take a variety of spoons, jigs, minnow lures and, of course, poppers. On this drift, Vic was first to score on a healthy trout.
Cheap, mate.
It's slightly foul hooked, it's not big.
Respectable, huh?
Hooked up. Go on.
Okay. Nearly.
Well, get him in. You'll do. While he's got his gill open. Thank you.
Right there?
Yep.
Let's watch that gill breakers. You know about them, no doubt. See if I can catch one while you're doing that.
A lot of islands are fringed with coral platforms like this one. Drifting quietly along within casting distance of the edge of the coral is a great way to work this area thoroughly and to explore new ground. With wind and current in the right direction, it's possible for both of us to fish. At other times, we simply take turns on the oars. Like most of our fishing, it's the challenge and the fun of catching the fish, not killing them, that counts for sport fishermen.
The sport fishing movement only represents a fraction of the people who are committed to fishing. Many people don't join clubs or organisations, and there are millions of fishermen, actual millions of fishermen in Australia. The old system of going out and killing thousands of pounds of fish for no better reason than a pocket full of dollars just isn't on anymore.
Yeah, well, there's something down
This
there.
system is a sort of fisherman's roulette. The fish can hit your lure any time. Your problem then is to pull him out of that coral before he cuts you off or breaks that light line. There are pelagic fish here too, like queenfish, trevally and mackerel.
Shape I'm in, I don't feel that's real likely.
That's a decent looking red bass, mate.
Oh dear.
Beautiful fish
Well,
to look at.
that's them. No problems.
Be interesting to see if he's got any of his 25-pound mates around there. See this little bait caster double over
With
there.
a smile.
All fang. Every time.
Hey, how'd he go as a wall mount?
Red bass are a handsome fish and they pull hard and fast, but to eat their firm white flesh would be a mistake. There's a 50-50 chance you would end up with a dose of a very unpleasant poisoning called ciguatera. It can lay you very low for months on end. Half the fun of being on the water is the unexpected things you see. At first, I thought these fish were a school of bait being hassled by predators. Instead, a rare school of triple tails or leaping cod just doing their thing. You don't have to fish for long in the tropics to know that sharks often show up where you're catching fish. Today was no exception. The sharks we see most around the coral are reef sharks like black-tipped or white-tipped whalers or small bronze whalers. They're never much bigger than 6 feet or so, but if there's an easy feed going, they're never far away.
Ounce or two out. He might be half a pound bigger than yours. I think this bloke is very big.
Well, I might just leave mine swim for a moment.
Good at these coral trout, aren't I?
Yeah, that's better anyways.
Hey, Vic, look at that. He's zeroed in on him now, Vic. Here he goes. Munch. You let go again.
Let go it.
Vic's small fish was near death, and it looked as though the shark was determined to eat it once he overcame his fear of our boat.
How about cast it out past him, see if he'll be in that. He's definitely interested, Vic.
Maybe, but he's nervous of the boat.
The thing about the sea's scavengers is that if the first one isn't quick off the mark, his mates will soon move in and get to any meal first.
There's 2 sharks competing for that now, look. 3 of them.
Before the other fellow does. A little bit of competition does them the world of good.
It wasn't long before one of the sharks decided it was definitely going to be his feed.
You got him, Vic. Right. Well, I hope another shark comes along to eat him.
This could go on forever.
You got a...
I hope you know when to stop.
You got a club on board?
No.
Let's have a look and see if he's inside. Is it the biggest one?
Yeah, I think you've got the biggest shark down there. About 4.5 feet of bronzy. Bring him up and I'll cut him off. Okay, I'll just try and be gentle with him. Hold it still, baby. 1 more second. Bingo. Away he goes.
Ah, well, thank you for the swivel.
That's all right. He's got the hook. Here we go again, Vic. Ooh, right on the boat there. Need a bit of pull. It's one of those little knowers. Another jig down the drain. This bloke I will grab by the scruff of the neck. Try and get that jig back if I can. Come here, fella. Yeah. No, I think that's one jig that shark's going to have to keep. I'm going to hurt him too much getting it out of him. So he can go back in the briny. Jig and all.
Because of the sharks, we were on the point of giving this spot away, when quite unexpectedly, I hooked something bigger than average.
Little pelagic, I think, Vic.
Steer the boat with your rod.
I am.
The first trick is to get the boat and the fish clear of all that coral and out into deep water.
Love that sound.
It's a big Spaniard, I think, Vic. When I say big, he's not sort of...
And me without my boots on.
Tis too. It's a Spaniard about 25, 30 pounds. What are we going to do with him? There we are. Got him a bit further down the body than I meant to. Oh, the bus there, thick. Have you got anything that resembles a donger?
Not on board, mate. On the other boat.
Well, if we haven't got a donger, Vic, the only thing I can think to do is to poke him over the side and bleed him.
Bleeding a fish gets rid of most of the blood in the fish's system, and all eating fish taste and keep a lot better that way.
You get rid of most of that
I've seen
blood.
guys spear him over the side like that before this.
Yeah, I've done it before myself.
Heartbreak job.
Yeah, we got a bit lucky for a change. That's one of the commercial species of fish in this world, the Spanish mackerel. And he's about 30 pounds, very good condition, and very good eating. So he'll end up in fillets in our icebox back on Angmardi.
Here your hand there, Mel.
Yeah.
You ever get bitten by these things right back in the corner of the jaw?
No. I've never been bitten by one, ever. That's it, mate. Beautiful. Stay put for a sec.
Wow,